Eyewitness News has learned the families of the children allegedly molested in the North Sharon Baptist Church case are being shadowed and harassed by private detectives. Even one of the state police detectives investigating the case has reported attempts to keep him under surveillance. TV2 investigator Vince Wade has reported the North Sharon case is part of what appears to be a national string of molesting cases involving independent Baptist churches led by a controversial preacher. Vince joins us now with another special report called Praying from the Pulpit. Vince?
Rich, the North Sharon Baptist Church and half a dozen other fundamentalist churches in southeast Michigan subscribe to the views of Hammond, Indiana preacher Jack Hyles. North Sharon is one of 7 Hyles doctrine churches around the country identified as having faced child molesting scandals. Hyles' own First Baptist Church of Hammond, Indiana is one of them. Last March, church deacon A.V. Ballinger was convicted on charges he molested a 7-year-old girl in Sunday school. Not only has Hyles defended Ballinger from the pulpit, he's said Christians shouldn't settle such matters in heathen courts.
If we can judge the world someday, we can judge within ourselves. A.V. Ballinger should not be judged in the courts of Hammond. He should be judged by wise people in First Baptist Church of Hammond, if he's judged at all.
Now tonight, for years, Jack Hyles has preached he's always for the accused, never for the accuser. Hyles says he won't listen to malicious gossip. His critics say it's a recipe for cover-up, which permits denial of scandals like child molesting.
We're not supposed to go to court in the Bible, black and white.
Hyles and his followers have done more than defend their deacon. Hyles' son-in-law suggested in a sermon that on one occasion the 7-year-old victim came on to him.
The little 7-year-old girl who supposedly accused A.V. Ballinger rode my bus route for a year. First time I met her, she jumped in my arms, affectionately hugged on me. I had to have the bus captain or co-captain pry her arms off of my neck. Most affectionate, loving, kissing, hugging girls I've ever met.
The victim had been one of the so-called bus kids. So were the victims in the North Sharon Church case. The pastor and associate pastor of North Sharon Church graduated from Hyles-Anderson Bible College, where students spend long hours using buses to go soul-winning in poor neighborhoods. The results can be seen at Hyles First Baptist Church in Hammond, Indiana. Every Sunday, the so-called bus kids are brought in by the thousands. Most of them are from poor neighborhoods. Poor children are targeted because their parents view it as Christian babysitting, and young minds are impressionable to indoctrination. Hyles and his followers have never expressed concern for the little girl Deacon Ballinger molested. In fact, prosecutor Clarence Murray says his witnesses were harassed.
Everything from phone calls to little notes left in the mailboxes.
It's the same story in the North Sharon molesting case. Lieutenant Jeri commands the Ypsilanti State Police Post, which is handling the investigation.
We have private detectives who have been contacting the parents of victims, who have been videotaping the victims, these child victims, as they play with their playmates, take pictures of them as they get on and off school buses and so on. In one case, a victim had given us a complete statement as to what had occurred, and after the family was contacted by these detectives, the victim recanted his story. We've even had a situation where one of our own investigators has been tailed and under surveillance by these detectives, by these private investigators.
Rose Carr, on the left, has 2 sons, ages 8 and 9, who were allegedly molested in the North Sharon case. Maxine Teachout, on the right, has a grandson who was 4 years old when he was allegedly molested by North Sharon bus minister Mark Fuller, who remains in jail awaiting trial. Last week, someone broke into Rose Carr's home and stole materials related to the case.
And why do our children have to be photographed by private investigators hired by the church? Why do we have to worry about break-ins? Why do we have to worry about our families being hassled? And I can't believe them people. What the hell is the matter with them?
Both women say no matter what happens to Mark Fuller, their children and grandchildren have been sentenced for life.
And the only thing we can do is trust the words of a little bitty kid that leaves the courtroom after a preliminary hearing and cries and crawls in Grandma's lap and said, "Why is the judge and the lawyers, why are all those people mad at me? What did I do wrong, Grandma? I didn't do anything wrong." And then he takes his mom's cigarette lighter and tries to light his clothes on fire. I want to get dead and be with the good people so Mark won't be mad at me anymore. But he's not mad at me, Grandma, because I didn't tell it all.
No one knows how many other kids haven't told it all among the nearly 200 churches nationwide in which preacher Jack Hyles and his views of God and justice are held in high regard.
Won't find me practicing while I'm preaching. Won't find me making no sacrifice. But I can get you a pocket full of miracles. If you promise to be good, try to be nice. God will take good care of you. Which is to do as I say, don't do as I do.
Jack Hyles told Indiana reporters our special report has a...
On Tuesday that the Hammond police are concerned that A.V. Ballinger, the Hyles deacon convicted of child molesting, has been passing out candy to children outside the church on Sunday morning. Ballinger reportedly resumed his church bus route the weekend after he was convicted. He should be sentenced on June the 10th.
Yes, I think we should mention one more time that Hyles does not represent all fundamentalists.
That's absolutely right. He doesn't represent all fundamentalists and all Christians. A good example is Miller Road Baptist Church in Garland, Texas, where his son damaged that church by having 14 or 15 affairs with women in the church. They've renounced Hyles and all of his teachings and have gone on their way and rebuilt themselves. So everybody doesn't follow Hyles.
Right. We know the story is far from over.
That's right. We're going to stay on it.
I know you will. Thanks.